It's Wednesday morning and we're live from Wieland Capital we're not on the moon anymore, we're back on the island of Oahu. And today we're talking about a few stocks. We got BBIG, we got AMC. What is going on in the overall market? Gonna take a look at some charts, talk about what I'm doing right now, what I'm looking at, all that fun stuff right now in this video. So make sure you guys stay tuned. What's going on, guys? Patrick here, and well, I just jumped over to the data center. You can see behind me, we got all the data. We're just constantly running, looking and analyzing and looking for charts and opportunities to make money. And today we're talking about BBIG, we got AMC, and we got the SPY and some other charts to look at as well. So, and as you can see here, pulling up the BBIG chart, we had a high back there at the $13, $12 level. They came out with news today about like 100 million share offering, I believe. I didn't see exactly the number, but I believe it was a pretty big offering. The news came out this morning. The stock is actually kind of holding this $5 area respectively right now, which is kind of impressive that it's holding $5 and right there kind of basing out of that $5 level right now. So BBIG was a merger with this. We talked a lot about it on the channel with Lomotif and all this stuff going on with it. But the problem is no one really knew exactly like how the spinoff was going to work. They had this crypto dividend spinoff thing they were talking about. There was all this kind of unconfused information, of like, okay, what really is going to happen? And that's obviously good as an it's not obviously good, but it's also good for the stock, because if there's people kind of trying to figure out like, what's this really valued at? What does this do in the future? Well, then that obviously increases in value or creates hype, and then people buy and sell, and there's opportunities to make money. I made a bunch of money on it on the way up and then lost a little bit of money on the way down, kind of messing with some options. But overall, in the green on BBIG, big up. You can see the other day, this thing ripped from the $3-5 level. It ripped all the way up here to 12 over a few days. So BBIG was one of those stocks that had potential. It had a smaller flow. It had some like hype and news around it, but it kind of just ended up fizzling out there down to the $5 level. Hey, if you guys enjoy these videos, do me one big favor, hit that like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell notification. I'll be posting more videos very soon, and you want to know when I post them. So hit that subscribe button. AMC, which is interesting because AMC had this big move just the other day off of that $30 to $40 level up there to 41, and then ever since it's just been kind of selling off. You had a big dump yesterday and then kind of just going sideways there with the market, I think, right now. So AMC kind of holding this $35 level right now. If you look at the daily chart, this thing's looking very much like it wants to touch down here to this $32 level. And now I've made videos in the past talking about the idea of, AMC going lower and then the next day it rips higher. So we'll see what happens here. In general, this trade here on AMC, I still believe that there will be an opportunity to buy AMC like at this $30 to $32 level. There might be some little bounces and some pops along the way, but we talked about like the other day, just kind of that key area, that $32 level, that key area in the overall kind of setup here. I really think this is kind of how it's going to play out. The thing about it is a lot of people think about like, the market moves in waves. We've got these waves, and then it's basically like, okay, now we got this next wave down. And then now the question is, okay, by November, do we finally break out, or do we get so tight inside of here and then finally break out like going into, 2022 there? That'll kind of be very interesting to see if this kind of plays out, this pattern, which I talked about the other day. It'll be interesting to see, like, do we hold this key level, this $32 to $34 level? Does this hold this key area of support? Does this hold and this kind of play out like this? So the question is, does this pull back? If we pull back to that $32 level, at what point do we finally break through this overall trend? Or obviously there's the idea that if we can't hold 30, well, then we kind of pull down here, find a base at that $15 level like this. I mean, I'm obviously drawing lines on the chart here that it's, anyone can do this, but in general, if we can't hold 30, well, then this is very plausible as a scenario there. So the question leads me to believe, so the overall movement as of right now is not really bullish, not really showing us opportunities, and AMC is just kind of, looks like it's gravitating towards that support level at that $34 to $30 level here on AMC. And it'll be very, very interesting to see what happens once we get down to that $30 level. Do we hold $30 or do we go to 15? The thing about this is, let's say if it does crash to 15, I know everyone keeps talking about how they're going to keep buying and buying and buying, but in general, I think that would obviously be the best possible entry that you could get here on AMC. If this squeeze does play out the way that people think it's going to play out, like if the entire world believes that AMC is going to go to the moon one day, and it finally does go to the moon one day, well, this would really kind of be your best entry level. That not 30, but that $15 level, $16 level kind of would be your best opportunity if you were looking to get in. I mean, that's exactly where I would love to load the boat if I was going to load the boat here on AMC, because you can pretty much see, got this huge leg up, this pullback, that leg down, and then, does this kind of work out that way, like in a Elliott type formation, Elliott wave type formation. If we look at the Fibonacci retracements here as well, and if we're going to go basically from the bottom of this move to the top of that move, you can see kind of where we're at right now, pulling back to that Fibonacci level, that 618 level, which is about 35. That 618 level, which is about 35 drop. So you can see right now on this Fibonacci chart. So you can see right now, looking at the Fibonacci lines, basically I would say, from the bottom of this move here to the top of this move for the Fibonacci's, pretty much look how well this lines up in terms of support by looking at the chart here. This key area, this 0.618 area on the Fibonacci, is basically right where that support is at that $32 to $30 level. And then look at this as well, that pullback after that to that next level, that 0.786 on the Fibonacci would put us down to the $20 level. And then really, if we got to get really down to the bottom of that overall level, that would be put us about $8, which is interesting here, which is very interesting, because if you look, we basically have that previous support there at that $8 level. So maybe I'm a little, maybe I'm being a little too bullish, thinking that $15 would be the kind of bounce area, but we'll see what happens. But these are just all indicators and things that we can use and look at, and we can see the volume on this move overall consolidating and kind of going sideways. We had that big spike in volume the other day, and a lot of that I think was because of shorts covering. There was some, impending kind of doom and gloom. People thought that the market might crash. Maybe they were looking to kind of take off some of the risk in case they needed more cash or vice versa. So AMC right now, the question is, do we retest this $32 level? And I think as of right now, looking, just basically looking at the chart here, my friends, everything points to one thing happening here on AMC, and that's retesting that $32 levels. The SPY as well in a very indecisive area. We almost have a doji forming right now. I think we're going to end up moving a little bit up here towards the end of the day, but the SPY also kind of just pulling back and trending lower here as well. So the question is going to be, does the SPY find support off of this level here, kind of go sideways, consolidate, and then the end of the year, we got a Santa Claus rally, and then we rally up to all-time highs, get above that 450 level. So for the SPY, really for me, what I'm watching to see is I want to see if this is going to resolve to the upside. Obviously, if we get a breakout of this overall trend, if we can break out of this overall trend, I'll be looking to buy call options that would expire like going into December, January for the SPY, thinking, that we could push up to the 460 level or higher. The all-time high is about 454, I believe. Yeah, right around 454. So 460 by the end of the year, if we get that Santa Claus rally, like we normally, in December, into the end of the year, getting that Santa Claus rally, we had a dip last year in October